What's up, everybody? Three in the possible, May 2nd. We are into May, fellas. This year has gone by real fast. How y'all doing? I'm Will Starnes.
Devion Hicks.
Joe Davis.
All right, man. It's been a busy week in the NBA.
Yes, sir.
So it's becoming a tradition that we start off our show with Kevin Durant said what. And so Kevin Durant this past week, to get himself back into the lineup, he came off the bench, had a great game. And then after the game was asked about coming off the bench, he goes, "Yeah, I thought it'd be a nice challenge. It's a nice little exercise,
A light exercise.
light exercise." Gave him
Savage.
Gave him about 30 in like 20 minutes. Just like he never took any time off, just out there just giving them buckets. So I feel like I'm usually like I come off as a Kevin Durant hater. He's not my favorite player by any means.
It makes it easy.
But I thought this was just funny. Like, this was just funny to me. Yeah, a little light exercise.
Yeah, dude.
Devion,
Man.
what'd you think? What'd you think about the debut, the comments, the whole thing? KD back in there and giving us great quotes to talk about as usual.
I ain't gonna lie, I love it. Talk that talk. 33 on him said it was practice. I was like, dude, just cold.
It's savage. It's
I
savage.
believe you on his line a lot, but man, I appreciate that one. Boy, that was a great laugh.
That's the type of stuff people want when KD trolls. That's the type of trolling people want KD to do. They don't want him to go on a burner account fighting fans. They want him to troll just like he just did. It was a light workout. Easy.
Right. Hey, if that's how he wants to troll people, I'm 100% for it. That shit was funny. He said, "Yeah."
And that squad's just that good offensively. Look earlier in the season, you can look at James Harden. It looked like he had a fat suit on, and he was still dropping 40 on people with the Houston Rockets. So that team is just good as hell, man. It was just unfair.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, looking like a
Hardin ain't never really recovered. He's just lucky them Nets jerseys are black. They're a little slimming for him. Boy, that boy came out there fat as I'm like, who is this?
Yeah, ridiculous.
That boy had a fast suit on there. He had a little sweatsuit underneath it.
Trying to make himself look bigger.
That was dropping 40 on them boys. That's embarrassing.
Hey, he said, "You know what? I'm gonna do just enough to let y'all know I still got it, but I'm also gonna make sure I look like I have no interest in being here in Houston."
It worked.
It did.
Definitely worked.
Got exactly what he wanted. He's on the Nets, and they're looking pretty good right now without him. We're still kind of waiting to see all three of them play together and gel. But I mean, hey, let's go to their big game. They just had a big game today, May 2nd. They played the Bucks. Obviously, no James Harden still, but Giannis made his return from his ankle injury. KD was back. Kyrie was there. Close game. Bucks won by 3, and KD and Giannis did not disappoint. 42 from KD, 49 from Giannis. I mean, that's some star power right there. Joe, what'd you think? What do you think about the result? Did it tell you anything, or do you still need to see the Nets with Harden to make any real determination?
Yeah, no James Harden. Kyrie had a bad shooting game, only had 20 points. And they had 16 turnovers as a team, the Brooklyn Nets did. And Giannis has scored 49 just so the Bucks can win by 3. That, if you're a Bucks fan, you're happy you get the win, but you shouldn't. That doesn't make you comfortable. That makes you a little uneasy because when they get James Harden back, that 3 points is going to come from somewhere.
Devion, what you think?
Yeah. It's making me think a little bit, second guessing. Because but I think Giannis he'll do that every night. So I'm not really tripping, but I would be worried if I was the Bucks fan. Because Giannis is gonna do his thing. Middleton had 26, and Holiday had about 18, won by 3. Kyrie, I can expect Kyrie to do that some games. So shooting for 21, that's not unlike him. In my opinion.
It's not awful. It's not like the worst shooting ever, but he obviously didn't have it going.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing why I would say pump the brakes on all the optimism for the Nets. if James Harden comes back, KD's probably not getting that many shots. Like KD's not going to get the shots to put up.
No, he won't. No.
So there is a little give and take to that. Obviously, you would imagine that James Harden's worth a little more than 3 points. And it's just what it comes down to me is I don't see the Nets. If Giannis plays like he did today, I don't know what the Nets can do to stop him. And that's really what bothers me about them, because at the end of the day, if they're in the playoffs and they're not calling it super tight, they're letting them play. The Bucks got people for Kyrie and James Harden and even Durant when they drive. Now, if they're just raining threes and they're making jump shots, I mean, we all know what's going to happen if the Nets are making their jump shots. They're going to win. There's no stopping them because they got the three best, three of the top 4 or 5 shot makers in the league. So yeah, if they're making all their jump shots and it's over,
If the Nets are making jump shots, Budenholzer has proven that he's not going to make adjustments and contain those 3-point shots, and they're going to get beat down. So it's all up to Coach Budenholzer. If he doesn't make adjustments this year, it's going to be the same as the last 2-3 years.
Yeah. Question for y'all. I agree. Because what was it? KD did what? He shot 33 shots.
Shit.
So when Harden comes back, how many shots do you thinking that they looking? Each of them will take, and how much it will really affect them. That 3-point lead, if they split those shots up, could have been a 15-point lead. You get what I'm saying? Just adding Harden in there could help everything. It could throw KD out his rhythm. Because
I don't think they're so stupid where, like, if KD got hot like he did tonight, like, I don't think they'd take the ball away from him. I think on a nightly basis, they're probably looking for KD to shoot anywhere between 22 to 25 times. Kyrie probably in the 15 to 18 range, and Harden kind of 15. Just because they seem to want to make Harden the distributor. So it seemed like they tried to limit – not that they're trying to limit his shots, but – just by the nature of the role that they're giving him, he is taking less shots. Not to say if he got hot like KD got hot tonight, he wouldn't put up 30 shots. We know he's more than willing to do it. But I think that's what they wanted. I think they want KD taking the most, 20 to 25. Kyrie a step back, 18-ish, and then Harden around 15 probably is probably their optimal.
It might hurt Kyrie more.
You think so?
Yeah, because when – all right. Usually is what is it when we be watching Kyrie getting his little stints like this and have a horrible shooting night. So you take 5-6 shots away from him, not looking good for him. KD, I can see him, like, even if he have a bad night for him, he still might score 30 on you. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't have the same doubts for him as I do for Kyrie. And then Kyrie's more like a get in your head type of thing, and like right now, 8 for 21, take 5-6 shots away from him, he might only make 4. You know what I'm saying?
Kyrie's a really big rhythm shooter. Like when Kyrie gets in the rhythm, you got to make sure you get him the ball. KD is, it's why he's KD. It seems like KD can go 12 minutes without getting a shot, and then he gets it and it just goes.
I'm not worried about sharing the ball. I know they've only played 7 games together, but when you watch those 7 games, you could tell they go out their way to share the ball with each other. And then when somebody gets hot, they sit out and let him do his little ISO thing. But you could tell they go out their way.
But they didn't look very good though in those 7 games. Like that's the thing. It's like, that's all well and good if you're getting everybody's shots, but if no one's getting in a rhythm, that's its own problem.
Yeah. They still don't have an offense though, for real.
No, the offense is what we used to do in college. We just been good. Whoever get high.
Yep, and Joe Harris, if you open, we're gonna pass you the ball because you're gonna shoot.
You're listing all the reasons why I have my hesitations about the Nets, because it's just like at the end of the day, like in the regular season you can run that pick and roll shit and it's hard to stop. You're gonna score a bunch of points in the regular season because no one's really gearing up for your specific team. In the playoffs, that's a different story. We see people shut shit down like at halftime.
Yeah,
they got all that extra time they did to dedicate to stopping the things you do well. Now,
They have the
stopping
one
James Harden's
equalizer.
pick and roll is like, it's a lot harder to stop, but
Even
I
if you
still
do
just
stop their pick and rolls, they got the one equalizer. Just give the ball to KD in the post and let him do his work and get an open shot.
Yeah. But
yeah, you can. But when you run that pick and roll, that high pick and roll, like he's not going to be in the post. He's gonna be standing out the 3-point line. Which not that that's
Yeah, I'm just saying if it doesn't work.
There's not like a bad place on the floor for Kevin Durant. Like he can score from anywhere. But I have my reservations about them with all three of them. Today's actually a perfect example. Like when you get those two, and then Kevin Durant just starts going crazy. Like,
yeah,
the Bucks. If the Bucks don't get fucking 50 from damn near 50 from Giannis, they lose.
The question is, okay, you got James Harden in there, and KD's shooting 35 times, and he's going off. Is James Harden and Kyrie going to play defense?
No.
Are they going to check out?
Seriously.
Are they going to check out?
Well, but that's the
thing.
thing.
Are they going to play defense? Are they going to check out even more?
Like that's a great point, Joe, because like they need to if KD's going to do that on offense, that's when they need to mentally be like, okay, you know what, let's really lock in on defense, because we've seen it, especially with Kyrie. We saw it in the 2016 finals when he decides to lock in on defense. He's he's not a great defender, but he's an above average defender. Like he did a great job chasing around Curry that whole finals. Like he can do it when he really puts his mind to it. I think a lot of it is the injuries as well, like not wanting to expend all that energy and whatnot.
In the finals, yeah, I can expect it in the finals. Before the finals, hell no.
Nope. Oh, no.
He's just going to rely on his offense and then just hope the rest of the team. But they low-key, we just watched the competition right there. That and Philly, the only two I'm really worried about. The rest of them, I think they might skate through it. If they don't run into one of them, they might skate through it. Really?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think they're going to have to see one of them for sure. I don't see both of them getting upset. The only way I could, I don't even know if it's. I don't even think it's really like the only way it can happen is if.
No,
I don't really see it. The only way it's going to happen is if my Heat were to knock off the other two, and if my Heat start playing that good to knock those two off, then they don't want to see the Heat either.
They could do it against the Bucks. They could beat the Bucks.
No, yeah, they absolutely can beat the Bucks.
Yeah. They're in the Bucks' head. Yeah, they can beat the Bucks, but I don't know if they can meet them.
Yeah, I don't think they beat Philly, but we'll see. We'll see. I might change my mind when the playoffs.
Got to see how these teams finish the regular season.
I might.
That's what's really going to be important. But all right, let's talk about your guys' Lakers. So LeBron finally came back. Devion's all happy. So before we talk about the game where y'all lost to the Kings, before we talk about that game, let's talk about LeBron's comments after the game. LeBron said this was the most frustrating recovery he's ever had, and he doesn't think he's ever going to be 100% again. How concerned does that make you, Joe? I'll start with you.
You go, Joe. I don't want to cry.
That boy lying. LeBron James is the biggest PR man in the world. This is him chirping into AD's ear and everybody else on that team. Hey, y'all need to step up. Just because I'm back don't mean y'all can sit back and relax. He letting y'all know y'all need to still be 100% because we're in the 6th seed right now. We should be better. That's what LeBron's saying. He's saying, I'm not going to put you guys back on my back. Y'all going to have to step up. So that's all it is. A PR. PR. That's all it is.
Devion?
Until I see him stop, it don't really mean much to me.
Exactly.
I don't care about none of that. He's still LeBron at the end of the day. He's still a tank. Now, if he come back and he start looking funny in a couple games, I'm gonna start shutting up.
LeBron. I love LeBron. Like I'm not shy, but he's one of my favorite athletes ever. I loved what he did in Miami. I loved him even before he came to Miami. Afterwards, like great person off the court, all that.
Here we go. I was waiting for that clarifier. Before I destroy this man, let me tell you all the great things about him.
No, I'm not going to destroy him. But I think I have to be fair because I told y'all last episode I was getting annoyed with all the more fans of the Nets planting the seeds of excuses right now. And I kind of feel like that's what LeBron did. I kind of feel like that's what LeBron did. He's like, if we don't win, it's because I got this injury that I'm never going to be 100% from. But if we do win, then when I make my Last Dance documentary, it's going in here as I had this grueling injury and we battled back and we repeated. Like I think it's kind of like what you're referring to, like the PR thing with LeBron. Like LeBron knows how to play the media. He knows how to do all the games. And I just don't like that. It sounds like he's kind of setting up an excuse for if they don't perform well, because the Lakers, I was very complimentary of them, like kind of treading water in the West while he was out, and now that they're starting to get their pieces back, they're not looking very good.
You know what they?
I'm not that concerned, but I don't really want to see them play the Clippers in the first round if they're not fully back in sync yet. That would be a little worrisome.
The Clippers are looking pretty good lately.
And I don't want to hear that one guy that's on FS1's mouth if Kawhi were to beat the Lakers this year. I'm not trying to hear that bullshit.
But you know what the Lakers look like right now? When Anthony Davis plays soft and is hanging around the 3-point line, they look like the Cleveland Cavaliers. He looks like Kevin Love. That's all he is out there when he's not in the post playing strong. That's all they are.
And that's not sounds like an echo or something. Bro, that sounds crazy.
Hey, bro, chill out. You're making a lot of sense right now, but get off.
It's true. It's true. It's scary to think about, especially when they're not healthy. Man. They don't look great.
But hey,
I was saying last week, I'm like, I don't want to see AD be this fucking Kevin Love jump shooter in the corner. That's not what he was brought there to do.
No.
Real talk, he wasn't. But they going to give him an excuse to where he can do it because he got Drummond. So they go make it a little better. It's like, well, he might not play in the post. He can go out there. We do got Drummond down there, and they gonna spread the floor.
That's fine, but I don't even care about Anthony Davis playing with his back to the basket, but just attack the rim. Like, he's a very good driver of the basketball from the high post. Get your ass to the rim. Like, he's too good not to do it. That's what's so annoying with him. You can't stop him.
A 7-foot guard. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
So he just needs to rack people up. But, we lost.
Stop being a bitch.
Exactly. He don't like it. It's exactly what it is.
I relate to it because that's how I always like to play basketball, but I was nowhere near as athletically gifted as Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
So I have an excuse. Whatever.
I ain't tripping over it, though. We lost. LeBron still shot 50%. He only took 12 shots. We didn't look that great, but I'm like, all right.
You lost to the Kings without De'Aaron Fox.
That's fine.
Terrible.
But
Halliburton is a decent rookie.
Lose to these little piss poor teams like this versus this being like the Clippers or somebody, and it mentally might get them. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with these little loser teams. So I ain't tripping.
You know who y'all look like?
Here we go.
You look like your finals opponent from last year. Just losing to these bullshit fucking teams that are fucking trash, playing down to their level. That shit. It's irritating, ain't it? It's irritating.
It is. It is.
I didn't want to say nothing, but
it's all right. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We still got what, 15 days? Yeah, 15 days.
Yeah, we still going.
Yeah, what? The Lakers got how many games left? I think I want to say 8.
Hold on, let me pull it
up. Last game of the season.
I got it right here.
Last game of the season was 16, right?
They got 9 games left.
Yeah.
9 games left.
Yeah, we good. We gonna get together in 9 games.
Straight. Yeah, we'll be a 5 seed probably.
Oh yeah. We right at 5, 6. We 6.
Hey, and as I was dogging the Kings are currently up 7, halfway through the third quarter over the Dallas Mavericks, who you guys are tied with for the 5.
Yeah, see, we need that.
Perfect. So, look, perfect.
There you go.
Let them win.
So that's Dallas for you, man. They're so inconsistent.
Man.
And I bet you Luka only has like 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists tonight.
Looking like yesterday. Him and my boy was looking like gods out there.
Man.
We're gonna get to the Suns playing the Jazz earlier because I want to talk about the defensive player of the year bullshit again and see how that man got embarrassed
Rudy.
out there.
Rudy.
But before we get to that, let's go to the Lakers' rival, the Celtics. Tatum dropped 6-0 last night. St. Louis Chaminade alum right there.
Yes, sir.
Whatever.
Dropped 60 in an overtime win over the Spurs. The Celtics were down 32 in the second quarter. They let Tatum get going. They were playing really no defense at that point, and they let that bad man wake up, and he took the game over and ended up beating him in overtime.
Like,
Devion, what do you think of the game? Because I know we've been hard on the Celtics. What'd you think?
I hate the Celtics, so I'm always gonna be hard on them. I don't like them, but I do like Tatum now. And he was looking like Kobe jumped in that man's body yesterday. I ain't gonna lie. I like seeing that. And what they were down by how much? Like 20?
32 in the second quarter.
32, and he stepped in. I like saying that. Like, that's making me think, like, mentally he's prepared and he's getting into playoff mode, and I can count on him in the playoff mode. I mean, in playoff time. I can count on him. So I like saying Tatum like that. I just wish he does. I ain't going to say 60 points, but just do this more often. Just take over the game, be who you want to be the number one option. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No Jaylen Brown discussion, none of that stuff. Like, oh, who's better? Just
you know what their team seems to lack. You know what that team seems to lack. They have nobody that can control the game. They have no one that does I love Tatum. Joe and I went to the same high school that he went to. It's like we obviously are a little biased towards him, but even Tatum doesn't have that ability to just understand how the game's going and when to go, when to let team. He just doesn't have that, and I'm not saying he doesn't have it. He's never going to get it because he's 22. But man, they need somebody that understands the flow of the game.
I don't think that's the player's fault. I think that's Brad Stevens' fault. He's running a college system where everyone has to share the ball and find the open man and take the shot. And then they bring in Kyrie Irving, a point guard who's the total opposite of share the ball and get people open. And they didn't like him. So they get rid of him and bring in another person, a lesser version of Kyrie, and bring in Kemba Walker, who does the exact same thing. So they have no plan whatsoever. I put it on Brad Stevens. They're running a college system, and he never lets Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum get their chance to just go and get it.
Should have killed Rob.
Devion, I'm going to let you go, because I think you're probably going to touch on who I would blame more. But Devion, go ahead.
Nah, you go. I just want to get a laugh. Real quick.
See, to me, it's Danny Ainge, right? Like Danny Ainge
was coming.
He hired Brad Stevens. You hired Brad Stevens for this reason. I like Brad Stevens.
Yeah.
But then you don't put the correct players with him.
He had all those draft picks.
He just
all of them. Like Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum could be the perfect player to make Brad Stevens' offense around. Like, there's no reason why Brad Stevens and Jason Tatum can't work. But like you said, Joe, having Kyrie Irving and Kemba Walker, that's not a good match for Brad Stevens. Like, they're obviously great players, and you can win. We've seen Kyrie win a championship. It's not that it's his fault. It's just the marriage was really stupid. And now they tried to, like you said, it's like, okay, if you saw it not work with Kyrie, why would you go get Kyrie Light? Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. You needed to get a Rondo. It would have been honestly great for them. Chris Paul. Chris Paul would have ran Brad Stevens' offense to a T. It would have been.
They didn't want to trade for him. They didn't want that contract.
And I don't blame, but that's the type of play they need. A player that doesn't need shots, that can
risk on somebody like Chris Paul and take a bogus contract or buy him out or something versus Kemba. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case,
the difference in their contract, I don't have them in front of me, but it can't be that much. It can't be that much of a difference.
Yeah, I'm like they should have kept Rondo if you gonna do something, because you need somebody like a Chris Paul or Rondo who can go in there and just control and Tatum just 1-on-1, because they looking like the three on the Brooklyn Nets, but just not as talented. So
I disagree. I think their offense resembles a lot more of like Miami's, where it's a lot of cutting, a lot of action, get people into the right position. But you need a smart player that's going to handle the ball a lot to do that and get people in the right position quickly.
Who's their best player to do that?
I mean, honestly,
Marcus Smart.
Yeah, I was gonna say, honestly, probably Marcus Smart, and like that's like he's okay. Like he'd be fine if he was like off your bench doing that, but you don't want like no, you need a better player than that.
He ain't on the team. The person we talking about is not on the team. So
exactly,
they need to go recruit somebody because.
You know who would have been a very cheap option that they could have got that would have probably done actually a pretty good job? Elfrid Payton for the Knicks. He's the exact type of point guard that could have come in there. He would have been cheap. He's not going to look for his own shots. You know, he shots. Just get other people involved. I think that would have been a really good fit. It makes a lot of sense that Tom Thibodeau wanted him in New York.
Can I say something real quick since you said that?
Yep.
Can we calm down about the Knicks? I mean, they good, but the media is going insane. Like all week long about the Knicks. They'd be a 7 seed in the West, bro. They good. Julius Randle, nice. They got a nice squad. But can we slow up on the Knicks a little bit?
Bro,
they had one good season in 10 years, and you guys act like they're the best thing out there.
You ever been to New York before?
I have. I understand.
So you understand why?
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
All right, here's the thing. What I'll say about the Knicks.
The smallest
blow it up.
Success. All it takes. It's ridiculous.
New Yorkers do not play.
That's ridiculous.
Look, let me say this about the Knicks. I don't think they're gonna be the Miami Heat of last year. I don't see that. But I don't think they're gonna be a pushover for the top seeds either.
No,
well, they're good.
They made a lot of really good strides. I think they are.
See, New York. How long they've been waiting for this, bro?
That's true.
What I think is worthwhile to talk about with the Knicks is that I think they've gotten back to the point where superstars might want to go there.
Yeah, respectable,
and that's important. Like Tom Thibodeau brings a level of respect. You're now seeing the success on the court. Like this was a really good year for the Knicks. Like New York fans should be happy about what the Knicks have done this year. But yeah, Joe, they're not like.
But
there's the top three, and then
everybody else is just in there.
And then there's the Knicks. Like the Knicks, the Knicks are more like a tough 7 seed, but. The way that the season is gone, they're sitting in 4th.
Do you think off season or something worthwhile in the off season? They still the Knicks to me. Now, if they do something crazy in the off season, I'm shutting up.
You think superstars want to go play for Tom Thibodeau?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He likes to run his players into the ground. I'm just saying, some superstars may not like that. Jimmy Butler likes it, but I don't know if all superstars like it.
I mean, it's not going to be for every superstar. I mean, it was. Like Kyrie and Kevin Durant were never going to go play for Tom Thibodeau, but I think there are some that would welcome that journey. Like for example, if like Dame Lillard were to leave, I don't think he will.
No.
But if he were to leave, I could see him going there. I could absolutely see.
Me too. That's like the only star that I could think of off the top of my head.
I'll go there. Tim, he's cool. You got
coach.
I think he's proven. New York is just like one of those difficult places to play. You don't hear about the owner in the media as much, which is the best thing for the Knicks. Julius Randle is being exactly who we always like. The Lakers obviously saw he was doing well with the Lakers, but he really became who we wanted him to be in with New York. New York is just terrible with making these off-season trades, man. So, we'll see. That's what's going to really, let's see if go try to get Alonzo to go with them or something. Go get another all-star to come with them. You don't even got necessarily.
Well, and another thing to pay attention to.
Just work your way up to all-star or, you know what I'm saying? Just work your way up to get something. Knicks, they so disappointing. And I like the Knicks too. Unfortunately,
I do too, but that'd be too much.
Here's the thing, though. We also should pay attention to the leap that R.J. Barrett made from rookie year to second year. Yeah, that was a really big leap. So if he keeps ascending, they might not need to go get the superstar. They might need to just go get the next role player
I don't
type.
got faith that they'll do that. We got faith that they can do that.
Yeah, I know it's the scary part.
Like, nobody wants to stay with them. Like, they had Melo and Amari, and they were balling, and they couldn't get it done. They just suck.
Yeah, that was. I feel like a lot of that was
Nope, I'm not. Nope.
One, Amari kept getting hurt. Like that's just like the epitome of Amari Stoudemire.
Punch and fire extinguishers? Is that what you're talking about? When they had their best chance? When they had their best chance?
That wasn't great.
Oh, I was so mad, man. Don't even bring that up. I'm mad already.
It's the current Knicks.
I was really referring to like more like after that. Like they weren't going to win that year. But,
no, but that was their best chance.
Yeah,
yeah, man. Tough.
Whatever. Go to
the really tough.
My head hurt.
I also just want to make one quick note. I'm going to put Joe on blast a little bit. Right before the show started, the Heat and Charlotte game was at halftime. It was a 7-point game. Joe mentioned that the Hornets were going to come back.
I did say that.
100-80 in the Heat's favor, starting the fourth quarter. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah,
I'm trying to hate on my Heat.
It's over.
But let's get back to this past week. So the Sun, I feel like the Suns have been going just through like the gauntlet lately. Like they went, like last show we talked about their run to the East. Now this week they beat the Jazz by 20, and then they went and knocked off the Clippers. So like, they've been playing like a lot of really good teams, and they've come away fairly unscathed.
Half a game behind first place.
So obviously when they played the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell was still not there. That's obviously an important note.
True.
But so I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about Defensive Player of the Year. Because
yes.
we also saw the highlight where D-Book had Gobert doing the Heisman pose on the basketball court. And this is just, for me, why he should be nowhere near the Defensive Player of the Year award. Not that anybody couldn't get cooked by Devin Booker, but the Defensive Player of the Year should not be able to look that bad. Not that bad.
Boy.
And it gets to a larger point with me when you take guards, you have smart teams that will put guards just in a pick and roll with Gobert every play after play after play. He can't do anything. He's useless on the defensive end. So I'm so tired of hearing that he's this unstoppable force on defense and deserves this. I think he's won it twice, and they might give it to him a third time this year. This is why I am going to start amplifying the Miami Heat's campaign that Bam is the Defensive Player of the Year, because that doesn't happen when Bam gets switched on to a guard, because he can actually move his feet. Like I referenced last week when they played the Nets, Kyrie Irving was 1 of 7 when Bam was his primary defender. If you look up the stats, I don't have time to go through all of them, but pretty much every good guard, big, whatever, is shooting terribly when guarded by Bam. He's the Defensive Player of the Year.
I'll give you that. Bam would never look that bad. Gobert, funny thing about it, I was talking to Zane yesterday about Gobert, why I can't stand him.
Zane is one of our St. Louis University great friends. Fantastic person, good basketball mind. Walked on to SLU's basketball team, I believe, his freshman year, then just quit because he was too good for him.
Facts. So I was talking about how dinky Gobert was, and the exact reason why I'm like, he can't do anything. He's literally this. That's all he do. Mm-hmm. And once you put a guard on him like Devin Booker, who's actually going to attack him, he's not going to settle for jump shots every time. He's going to cook you. Yeah. And now he looks like nothing. He literally, the only thing he can do, Gobert is boo-boo. And if he gets Defensive Player of the Year, bro, give it to I'd rather give Bam. I'd rather give it
Ben Simmons.
Like, why would and they go, if you give it to Gobert, bro, they pretty much taken away from the accomplishment. If you give it
here's the thing, Joe, real quick before you go. Here's my thing. Because they always use Gobert's blocks and the intimidation that he has at the rim, right? Okay, well then how come last year didn't give it to Hassan Whiteside? Because Whiteside led the NBA in blocks, right? If that's the thing, if we're just going to talk about how, he just protects the rim and intimidates people, then no one intimidated people more than Hassan Whiteside, because Hassan Whiteside also played 10 minutes less a game. So if you did it per 36 minutes, you killed him in blocks.
Facts.
So it's stupid. They make all these excuses for Gobert, Joe, Go ahead.
Is it politically incorrect to say Frenchmen are soft?
Yes.
The boy is soft. The boy is soft to be a shot blocker. If you put a body on him and you bang with him, you can take him out the game. And in the pick and roll, he just looks clumsy. You're right. If you get him on the ISO on a pick and roll, he don't know what to do.
Boy, you ain't lying.
He don't know what to do.
Work.
And what you said, Devion, made me think he kind of Roy Hibbert-ish. He's good. He's good at changing your shot, but only if he can get his hands up in time.
Hey, bro, that's yes, that's the play I was trying to. Yes, that's all he is. He go alter your shot, besides, man, he don't got no footwork.
No, and
I'm not trying to say that he's not like a valuable piece to have on a defense, but we're talking about the best defensive player in the NBA that alters games. It's not him.
Not him, no.
No, bro,
that's the analytics coming in trying to say he's a good defensive player.
No, it's not even the analytics. There's not sorry, I'm not going to let you do the analytics. I'm an analytics guy.
I know.
Analytics is not telling people that Gobert is the best defensive player in the world. All analytics will say is that the Jazz are like the best defensive team when they have Gobert on the floor, but that's because they got all these other really good defenders around him.
And
Donovan's a really good defender. Joe Ingles is a really good defender. Like, they're all good defenders. Royce O'Neal's a good defender.
Royce O'Neal,
and then you throw him in there to alter shots.
Exactly.
He gonna look like a god out there. Dude I ain't gonna say he boo boo. I just don't like him. But he ain't boo boo. He is boo boo. I'm gonna boo. He ain't. He's just just trying to make sure the big man
water splatter
or something, or they don't kill the big man or something. The old big man. I don't see why else they go give it. Like, I'll throw him away. Like,
they paid him that big money too, man. I couldn't believe that.
No lie, what the Suns did to him, they better hope Donovan Mitchell comes back and and I'm talking about to the same level that he was playing. This is a great example of why the Phoenix Suns they're dangerous. They're just nobody's gonna count. They
are dangerous.
And then some players go, they ain't that bad.
Look who's coming around.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They deserve an apology from me. They good, man. They good. They for real. They for real. This week they proved me wrong, man. They proved me wrong.
I
apologize.
I can't wait to see D Book in the playoffs, bro.
Yes.
My boy Zane, I was talking to him too again about the Suns, and I think he brought up a good point. I think we talked about it, but I told him I was worried about Chris Paul being him, and he was like, "Nah, Chris Paul is gonna do his thing every time." He said, "You probably need to put it on D Book," because he said, "Let's see if he does 30 points a game." And I was like, "You got a point, but I don't see how Devin Booker. I think he's just gonna drop 30, and they go.
He can.
We just go through the playoffs, and people gonna be real mad. I'm telling you, they go. I can't wait to see him play, bro. And I'm glad you came along, Joe.
I had no choice, man.
This the number one where we got Joe to turn around.
It's the first time, first and last.
We're still working on Tracy McGrady to the Hall of Fame, but
not happening.
You ain't never losing that down. Kyle
never.
He'll suck too. But
hey, please, man, don't make me get that man tatted on me.
You'll get a
never. Yeah, Drake will kill me. I gotta let Drake get that first.
Drake, the type of dude that probably would get it before you too. That's the thing. Y'all can go do it together. How about that? Y'all can go get it together.
It's that light skin thing.
Yeah, we gotta stick together.
The Waffle Brother.
Hey,
boy.
Right, damn near white. That's how we roll. How we roll. Let's go.
Waffle Boys.
Oh, God. All right. I'm going to try and move on from that. Giannis, before he came back today, he had re-injured an ankle. Are we at all concerned about Giannis's ankle and health going forward? Because he's kind of been in and out the lineup lately. Are we worried about it? Are we not worried about it? Devion, I'll start with you. What do you think? Are you worried?
I don't know yet. I really don't.
You don't have that much time to figure it out, Devion. We only got like a week and a half, 15. What was it? You said, Joe? 15 days before the regular
About
season's
15
over.
days.
Yeah, maybe I'm just being optimistic, but yeah, anytime a big guy like him has a toe injury, ankle injury, anything like that, I'm
Scary.
like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'll say I probably won't be as worried just because of Giannis. It's him, and I think even if it does bother him or he tweaks it a little bit, mentally, I think he's strong enough where he can fight through it. But bro, that's a lot on your ankle. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not the first time either.
That's what I was going to say, Joe. That it's a lot of people were talking about it, and it's probably best if they did hold him out last year in the playoffs when he turned his ankle in the Heat series in Game 4. I mean, the series is already over pretty much, but remember, it all started like that for Grant Hill. Like Grant Hill had just like what seemed to be like one little injury, and then it just started compounding, and we never really saw the real Grant Hill again.
I'm not too concerned about Giannis, but if you're the Bucks, you got to think a little bit about Steph Curry, because this happened to Steph Curry too when he had ankle problems, and it kept popping up. It didn't pop up in the regular season. It would always pop up towards the end of the season and in the first round of the playoffs, and he would always miss a couple games. So if that happens, that's when you need to become a little concerned. But if that doesn't happen, then Giannis is young. He'll be fine.
And Giannis, he's the type that is always going towards the basket. Yeah. So he's always stepping around other people's feet. You know, like Curry at least can get away with being out on the perimeter and staying away from as much traffic as possible. Giannis can't do that because
even more reason why Giannis needs to go get a jumper, because like I said, when Steph Curry tweaked that ankle, he got a 3-ball you ain't stopping. So he don't gotta always rack you.
Man.
Yeah.
Don't talk about Giannis's jump shot, man. It hurt my shoulder, bro. That mug. It's so bad. It hurt. It hurt to watch and take that jump shot. It's so unsmooth.
No jumper, no nothing, and then you trying to do all this twisting and turning on your ankles, and you 6'11". All right. Don't have no career-ending injury because you don't want to go get no jumper.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hey.
All right, let's talk about other injury news. Hardin had a setback with his hamstring.
Man.
It looked like he was getting closer to coming back. And it looked like they were honestly going to be able to just time it up with, like, all right, give him a few tune-up games before the playoff starts. Boom, here we go. I would have still disagreed with that decision, but that's what it seemed like they were going to do. Now it's starting to be looking like playoffs could be getting iffy for him to be completely healthy. I'm sure he'll suit up and play, and what's crazy about it is Hardin has had zero injury issues his entire career.
Crazy.
And I hate this. Like, the one time, bro, he got the chance to win it. Like, Chris Paul got hurt, then he got this. Like, and it's like to the point, it's like it's looking like they got to sit him out. And he might not even come in the first round of the playoffs. Depends if they sweep him. He might not even play the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I haven't seen a good update on what his status is.
This is the third time.
You guys have seen anything?
This is third time re-injuring his hamstring.
Bro, I've had a hamstring injury before. It feels like it's impossible to recover from it.
It feels fine one day, and then you work it out a little bit, and the next day is just tight.
Like hamstring injury, you would be in a dead sprint or doing something light, and it just do that, and you can't do nothing about it, and then you lose your whole leg, and it feel like you just dragging a dead leg around. So that's a tough injury to come back from. It ain't nothing to really play for it. So, and I don't know, sit him out, man. Don't mess up his time to shine. I need Harden to play in the playoffs and produce, because if they win with no Harden.
And I'm thinking, like, when he had practice, what is he doing? He's doing the Euro steps and the step back. That's a lot of hamstring leg movement just to get them lunges, just to do the step backs and those Euros. That's all he has.
That's his whole game.
Let that man go chill in the strip club for a couple of weeks and heal up.
Yeah. Dang,
Get that man back in form. Let him go to Houston for a couple weekends.
I don't got my
All
watch
right.
today.
Yo, Usher Bucks.
I ain't got my Usher Bucks today.
Yeah, man, those hamstrings are tough because you can feel like they're completely healed, and you're out there like, okay, boom, everything's normal. You're out there, you do one sudden movement,
It's over.
and then you're like, damn, still not good. Yeah, that's rough. I mean, I don't wish injury on anybody.
Hell no.
That's tough.
And that takes a toll on your mental too. That the hamstring when you think you good, like that hamstring.
It can affect your game because you start thinking about your hamstring more. You're thinking about what you're doing on the court. That's never good for
You
anybody.
take that step a little couple inches shorter because he's scared to do a full reach out.
Yep. Scared.
You're not diving. You're not going 100%.
Jump shot looking short, go be long. Scared to be aggressive. It takes a toll on your mental. Like it just I don't know, man. Like come on, Hard, bro.
They'll be all right.
Yeah.
They'll be all right. If James Harden doesn't play until the finals, they'll make it to the finals.
I don't care if he plays. If James Harden didn't play in the whole playoffs and played in the finals and produced in the finals and they won, don't care.
Agreed.
I'm satisfied. What you gonna say? They will go do that with or without him. They was gonna, So I don't care.
Exactly.
I just need. Come on, Hard. Do this for your boy. Yeah. Kobe gave you his blessings, bro. Come on, don't disappoint. Don't disappoint us, man. Come on.
All right, let's take a look ahead in the NBA this upcoming week. So we talked about the big game today, the Nets and the Bucks. The Lakers have a big game this week. They host the Denver Nuggets.
Let me see when we play.
That could be, if the Nuggets win that game, that'll probably all but solidify them getting the 4 seed over the Lakers and potentially Mavericks. So I don't have that much faith in the Mavs right now.
Me either.
Actually, I got to take that back. As I relook at the standings, Denver has actually already climbed to the 3 seed. They're a half game ahead of the Clippers.
Whoa, they jumped the Clippers?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I thought I was just looking at them.
The Lakers honestly look like they're not going to go anywhere but potentially 5.
Yeah.
So the way the West sits right now, Utah is a half a game up on Phoenix. Phoenix has played 1 less game, so theoretically if they win the next game, they'll be tied. Then Denver is in 3. They're 3 games back of the lead. The Clippers are in the 4th spot, 3.5 out of first. And then Dallas and the Lakers are both 9.5 out of first at 5 and 6. And now Portland is only a game behind both Dallas and LA in the 7th seed. So this is all getting a little dicey. Joe, I may have to owe you an apology because I told you I didn't think beforehand that there's any way that the Lakers could fall into the play-in games, but now they're only a game up on it. So it's getting really interesting. And just to update us on the Dallas game, the Dallas is still down 9. There's a little under 8 minutes left in the 4th quarter at this point. So it's not looking good for them. Some other important games to talk about. We've got the Celtics lost to Portland. The Heat are going to win against Charlotte. They're up 15 with a minute and a half left. So that's gonna launch the Heat into the 6th seed and Boston down to the 7th down to the play-in game. So lots of things happening on this fine Sunday here. So, and the Lakers, I think y'all are playing. I think they just tipped off against the Raptors.
Portland's getting healthy, man. Portland's looking good. I'm a little worried about Portland jumping the Mavs or the Lakers. They're finally getting everybody healthy together. Like, think how good they would be if they had Nurkic and Zach Collins together all year long. And they're not going to be nothing big, but they'd be better. They'd be better than what they're at.
Yeah, you're right about that. But
I've gotten into this argument so many times with our lovely friend group. I think Nurkic is one of the most overrated players in the NBA. I just don't.
He's cool. He's really cool. Yeah.
I mean, he's a nice player, but He's nothing special.
Yeah.
He's not a game
Nurkic
changer.
he cool. He ain't no superstar or nothing like that by no means. But he
I'd take
Like, not
Sabonis
even
over
close.
him, but yeah, he could.
facts. Not even close.
I mean, yeah, that shouldn't even be a conversation. Sabonis is way better.
Sorry.
I mean, it would have been a conversation 2 years ago. Sabonis was not looking like he was going to be this.
So, question.
Fair.
So, is it safe to say Jokic go get MVP?
All right, so that's our next kind of our closing combo.
Oh man.
And I've been riding the Jokic train, but let's say the Suns get the 1 seed. Chris Paul deserves some damn love. I think Joe brought this up a week or two ago. He said, will Chris Paul get a vote?
Yeah.
Now it's starting to become, okay, if the Suns chase down the 1 seed, they get the best record in the whole NBA.
First time in the playoffs in 10 years.
I don't even care about that. If you have the best record in the NBA, the team missed the playoffs the year before.
Exactly.
The only major upgrade is Chris Paul. I'm not going to discount Jay Crowder. I love Jay Crowder, but he's not.
My argument,
he's not in this conversation.
The one
So
argument
I will prompt it to you, Joe. Give me your answer. Who is the MVP?
I was going with Jokic too, but the way Chris Paul and the Suns have been playing, if they get that 1 seed, I think Chris Paul deserves it. If you look at Steve Nash, he had 16 points, 10 assists, and he beat Shaq out for the MVP. Come on. So people saying that you have to be the leading scorer on the team. That's bull. You don't have to be the best player on the team or the leading scorer on the team. It's most valuable player. It's not best player in the league. It's most valuable player. And Chris Paul is the most valuable player for the Suns. And he turned them all the way around. You can't count the bubble because that was a totally different scenario. Chris Paul came in, changed that whole culture, and put some young talents together and made them number 1 seed in the West. That's impressive.
And guess what? That Steve Nash and Shaq thing, exact reason they not gonna give it to him.
Yeah, you may be right.
Because it's like, should he probably get it? Hell yeah.
All right, Devion, who is your MVP? If you were a voter, who are you going to write down?
If I could really somebody based on like what it really stands for, yes, him. But Jokic is,
you know how it goes. That's what you're saying.
Pretty much go win it. They go like, Jokic averages 30, Chris Paul averages 16. He's got his in the third with no Murray, and I'm like, y'all just forget Chris Paul did this all year long, and he went from a dinky team to a dinky team to now you more likely they might be the 1 seed. It's looking good for him. I think he gonna get it, but he probably gonna get like 2-3 votes if that. I think
he'll get more than that.
You think they gonna act right by him and give him a couple more than 3 votes? You got.
Yeah, I think he'll get a nice amount. I don't think it'll be anything to sneeze at. I'm gonna still hold on to Jokic. I think Jokic is still the MVP.
Yeah.
Just because I think you can make the argument that Jokic does everything that Chris Paul does for the Suns. I think he does it for the Nuggets and then some. He's got the rebounding.
1 less rebound, than Chris Paul. That's about it. I mean, assist. 1 less assist.
So if that's
Paul.
I just think Jokic. I think if you take Chris Paul off of the Suns, I think there was a natural improvement from Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton that was going to vault them into the playoffs. Like, I don't think they were going to miss the playoffs without Chris Paul. I think if you take Jokic off of the Nuggets, I think they probably missed the playoffs. Like, I don't see Michael Porter Jr., even if Jamal Murray didn't get hurt, I don't think I see those two leading them to the playoffs. Maybe the play-in game. MPJ has been balling, but that's why I still lean Jokic. He does it so consistently, and it's not flashy. It's been so consistent all year. But I mean, dude's been doing like historic shit this year.
Kevin McHale numbers. Yep.
So what matters more? 1 seed and decent stats with bringing a team out have been in the playoff in 10 years to the playoffs, number 1 being a contender, or You got all the stats. You're in third seed. You're doing exactly what we're supposed to do. You've been in the playoffs every year. So that's pretty much like what is going to matter more. I think Jokic, he does deserve it. But,
They're both really deserving people this year.
But the Nuggets are a 4 seed. Like, that matters.
Right,
Three seed.
Oh, they're a 3 seed.
Right now.
They just moved up. So that does help him out a lot, though.
Yeah, that's why I say, like,
I think it's important, especially he's moving them up the standings after losing his point guard.
Yeah, like, he's gonna get the votes.
Lost his point guard like that. I mean, that's impressive.
He's gonna get that.
He's essentially playing point guard as the center. Yeah, he's not super like the storyline. Like most impressive season to me is probably Chris Paul. Like I think it's been most impressive, like his impact on the Suns. But just straight most valuable, I think, is still Jokic. But I will admit, it's like this to me. It's very close.
Low key, I wouldn't be surprised if the media put Joel Embiid second and then put Chris Paul third.
Oh, they'd be out their mind if they do that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I won't be surprised, but at this point, just with the amount of games that Joel Embiid missed,
he only missed 20 games. Yeah, not bad.
20 out of 72. I mean, that's damn near a third of the season. And Chris Paul, at the age of 35, 36, going out there every night and just leading that team. Chris Paul,
hey
man, it's the thing that makes me want Chris Paul to get it is the fact that he doesn't have one, and I feel like he probably should have one. At this point.
You also got to take and count the voters, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Oh yeah,
Poppy from
I'm talking about straight just who we think should get it, who I think should get it, and I think it's Jokic one. And Chris Paul, like just a hair behind him.
If Jokic get in second place, he got it, and it's doable. Yeah. If he gets in second place, now it's just like, I can't really argue against him no more. He lost the second place, and he kept climbing up like Will said. You got it, bro.
Utah's gonna fall.
He pretty much got it right now, but you get in second place, it's like.
What do you say against him? Like he's got the best stats, and he just kept leading his team up to standing. Yeah, I mean it's hard to take anything away from it. So let me ask you guys this. This is a little impromptu. We didn't talk about this beforehand, but the West and the East playing situations are actually getting pretty interesting. So end of the night now that we see kind of how these games are going to go final. The Heat have jumped into the 6th seed. Celtics down to 7. The Heat are actually tied for 5th with Atlanta, but because the Heat choked away their game against the Hawks with no Trae Young and no John Collins, the Hawks own the tiebreaker. But they are also a game and a half from New York for 4. So it's actually getting pretty close up there. Now we go down to the West. The Lakers and Mavericks, like I said, right now tied for 5 and 6. Technically, I guess.
Tiebreaker.
Yeah, well, the Mavericks are about to lose, so they're going to momentarily go below the Lakers
tonight. Yeah, for sure.
I don't see the Lakers losing to the Raptors, so they're probably going to go. The Lakers are probably going to go a game ahead of them. But with Trailblazers beating the Celtics, that would actually tie the Mavericks if the Mavericks were to lose.
With Portland?
Yeah. So
for the 6th seed?
Do you think there's a chance that Dallas falls all the way down back into the play-in game? I'll put it to you like this. Who do you think has the better chance of landing in the 7th seed? The Celtics or the Mavericks? Both teams that have for a little bit had vaulted themselves out of the play-in situation.
Ooh.
Now are both kind of iffy.
That's a hard question.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Because Mavericks are just like I like Mavericks and I like Luka, but they just iffy. It's like a coin flip at the time, man. So and then the Celtics. So I think the Mavericks probably.
Let me throw the scheduling at you guys. So
let's do that.
The Celtics and the Heat play 2 times back to back in, I believe, a week from today, and then on the following Tuesday. 2 straight games, both at Boston. If that doesn't go the Celtics' way, if the Celtics don't at least split that, if the Celtics need to split it, the Heat need to split it. that could be a huge determining factor there. I don't know what the schedules for those Western Conference teams look like ahead of me, but I figured I'd throw that little factor,
Ooh,
guys. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, let me look at. Hold on, let me pull up the
I don't trust
schedule.
the Celtics to be able to beat the Miami Heat.
I don't either.
So Miami Heat just has something on them.
All right, so
the Heat are starting to look like they're starting to kind of get their juice back a little bit. They look like they're starting to find a rhythm.
it might be the Celtics, bro. I pulled the Mavs, who they got left. They playing with Sacramento right now. They got Miami, Brooklyn, play the Cavs twice, Memphis, New Orleans, Toronto, and Minnesota.
They can lose 4 of those games.
For a fact.
Yeah, I was going to say, I only saw 3 games on there. I was like, yeah, they'll definitely win those.
Yeah.
Really 2. Like Minnesota and
Cleveland.
Toronto and Cleveland.
I was
Cleveland.
going to say, yeah, and Cleveland. I could see Toronto beating them.
Yeah, they're not beating Memphis. Memphis is good. They're not beating Memphis.
Nah.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. They got a tough little road ahead. So I'm gonna go Celtics.
Tough.
I think the Celtics are the team that's gonna fall. Just because
you might be right.
You mentioned the schedule.
You're just a Heat fan. You just want the Heat to have the most favorable position. That's all that is. Come on, man.
No, I mean I would include the Hawks into the discussion because the Hawks have been battling bad injuries to their
I don't know the whole schedule.
Players.
I just know they play the Heat twice.
Of course, I know the Heat schedule.
I'll tell you the schedule in a second because. Oh yeah, bro. Okay, yeah. So they play Boston plays Orlando, Chicago, Miami twice, Cleveland, Minnesota, and New York.
Oh, they in. They gonna lose 2 games.
I don't know, bro. That's still like Miami is.
They gonna lose 1 to Miami, and they'll lose to.
Might lose both to Miami.
Yeah. And then the Knicks. That's 3 losses right there.
Chicago. They might lose to Chicago. They might lose to New York. It ain't.
Chicago been playing. Yeah, Chicago been playing.
Guarantee that
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Minnesota and Cleveland. They got 2 guaranteed wins.
Hey, the play-in games may actually be a pretty good thing the NBA did because it's pretty nice towards the end of the season.
I know. I like this.
I'll give you this. I don't think it was right to start it this year with all the condensed schedule.
I agree.
But in the future, it's gonna be fun.
I like it.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Can't wait. This is. Yeah, you might be right, Will. It might be, and I hope it is Boston. I hate them.
I can't stand them either, man.
I don't even know why I'm trying to. I don't even know how I looked at this.
Can't stand it. Anything in Boston.
Man, yeah. That's good. Hey, question. Did y'all? What's up? What y'all think about my boy? I brought it up earlier, man. Come on, Will. I know you was happy to see Mr. Godman and God mode yesterday, Mr. Westbrook. And they lost by 1.
Hey.
Heartbroken. Man. Heartbroken. Like, how can what did he do? But Luka he made one turnover.
Hey, man, and Brad had a good look with like 4 seconds left to win the game.
Man.
I thought that was cash. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm sitting like, yeah, Brad's
jersey,
about to yeah.
I'm like,
it's something about that jersey. Hey. It's the Wizards. It's just who they are. So it's something. I swear, it's just something about that jersey.
Joe,
man.
You can't lie, bro. They've been balling lately, bro. They have been balling.
They have been, and they've been. And what seed are they in?
10th.
I mean, that's my point. It's just the Wizards. That's who they are. When John Wall and Brad had that 2 years together where they was balling and they got best was a 4 seed. Like, it's just the Wizards. That's just who they are,
bro. But they separated from last week when we had this conversation. They were only I think a half game up or maybe a game. And now they're 3 clear.
And then they just fell. Yeah.
It's just the fact that the Pacers haven't been losing like they're supposed to be losing.
Hey, Sabonis, that boy for real.
Yeah,
I see why he's got the back injury because he's putting that whole goddamn city on his back. But
boy, because
triple-double in the first half with 22 points. Dang, that's crazy.
Man, Westbrook, It's like
I feel so bad for Westbrook.
just can't get nothing to go for. Like people are like just having the hardest time in the world. Like God, like bro, I was screaming yesterday. I was screaming the other day when they lost. Like
It's the Wizards thing to do.
40, 10, and 9. Good
But if you
lost.
man, if you look at that team though, they had nobody. Once they lost Thomas Bryant, their center, they got nobody.
Yeah,
Hiroshima is good, but he got a couple years before he's for real that big time player.
hey man,
You know what he does though. You know what he does for their team because he's a really good defender.
He is.
He can be switched on to anybody. He's their Bam light. Like they can just
But when they
no
play
matter
the
what he
Lakers,
gets
they just
switched
throw
into.
him on LeBron.
who you talking about?
Yeah,
Uchi?
Rui.
Yeah.
Rui Hachimura.
He's decent, man.
He's a
He's
really good defender. The offensive game is still not quite there.
Nah, it's not. But it's getting there.
But they need that type of defender. They need him back and healthy every night to pair out there with the other two that just don't even.
And then Bertans is, oh my God, I gave him all that money and he can't hit nothing this year. Man.
Happens like that sometimes.
Yeah, I'm gonna see.
But I wouldn't pay Bertans that much anyway.
No, not a good contract. A lot of money for a role player.
No.
Hell no.
Right. All right, y'all. 3 in a Possible. It's been a fantastic night. We're going to sign off here. May 2nd episode.
Yes, sir.
It was a pleasure, fellas. It was a pleasure.